Thank you, Gord. So now only one game remains. The BC Lions and the Calgary Stampeders. If the Stamps win or tie in Wally Buono's final game at home as head coach, then Calgary will get first place in the West. Otherwise, Saskatchewan Roughriders will get that first place bye in the West Division if BC wins. I can tell you that Walter Grachowski of Aldergrove, BC, well, we got our last contest right here for Safeway Sobeys and the $1 million touchdown win promotion. If a kickoff's returned for a TD in this game, well, you get groceries for a year. If it happens again, you get $1 million. So good luck, Walter. Let's head to the final game now at BC Place. Chris Cuthbert and Glenn Suter.
Thank you, Rod. Clocks turn back tonight, and here in Wally World as we honor the unparalleled career of Wally Buono. And the Stampeders try to step forward and lock down first place in the West. It's the Stamps and Lions from BC Place. Not often does the head coach get his own run out in the pregame introductions, but a special night, the 450th and final regular season game for Wally Buono. Bobblehead night, many of his great players in attendance to cheer him on.
One of those players, Dave Dickinson, started 76 games for Wally Buono, and he too thinks it's great that he will be honored here tonight in his last game at BC Place Stadium. But his number one priority is locking up first in the West and the bye to the final. And a win or a tie tonight for Dave Dickinson's Stampeders, they accomplished that goal.
Fitting that it would be the Calgary Stampeders on Wally Buono night, as he won 153 of his 282 career victories with the red and white tonight, trying to spoil their drive to first place. Third meeting of the year. Stampeders won 27-18. The Lions 26-21 at McMahon 3 weeks ago. And we are glad you're along. We suspect there's quite a few watching in Saskatchewan as well tonight, with their first place hopes on the line as well. So the Lions will get the ball first. Ready for Redez to kick it off. Chris Rainey is back in the lineup and has his hands on the football. And Rainey just gets beyond the 25. Good contained by the cover team. And here comes Travis Lulay, 12th start, 7-5 in his career. We expect to see some of Jonathan Jennings tonight as well.
First time that Travis Lulay goes head-to-head with Bo Levi Mitchell in this building, though. Just circumstances, different injuries throughout his career didn't allow for the matchup. So Wally Buono's decision in this game, even though it doesn't change BC's fortunes in the playoffs one way or another, is to play all his starters.
But his offense was out of sync last week against Saskatchewan, just 180 net yards. So the starting group is in, and they're going deep early, and Corey Watson in Calgary territory. And Watson's still going inside the Stampeder 40-yard line. That's his biggest play of the season.
Well, what a way to start. Get some early momentum. Take the opening kickoff. A nice one-on-one route run by Corey Watson. Got inside position. Travis Lulay just threw him open into the middle and a little heavy lifting after it.
So just 71 yards in the opening half against Saskatchewan. They go 44 on the opening play against the Stampeders. They might be reviewing the spot of the football here.
Maybe looking to see if Corey Watson was down by contact.
Video officials changed the spot to the 48-yard line, still first down.
Saw Emmanuel Davis there, and if he's touched while he's down,
right. Yep.
Yeah, he touched while the knee was down. So the ball moved back to just past the 50.
So it's a 35-yard play. And a first down for BC at the Calgary 48-yard line. Lions got an early jump on Calgary 3 weeks ago, led 13-0 after one quarter of play. This guy was key in that game. Tyrell Sutton made his debut against the Stampeders and ran for 106 and a pair of touchdowns.
Well, there's my vote for the BC Lions nominee for outstanding player. Didn't get the nod. That was Ty Long, but very close to a 1,000-yard season, 986 so far. Should get that tonight. There's the outstanding offensive lineman nominee for BC, Joel Figueroa at left tackle.
Burnham 14 yards away from his third consecutive 1,000-yard season. 2nd and 5. They empty it out. 4 receivers near side. Lule looking the other way. Micah Johnson in pursuit. And Travis got to throw it away. And the kick team will come on.
Micah Johnson making his presence known early in this one, chasing down Travis Lule.
Top defensive player for Calgary this year.
This would be around a 52-yarder, 51-yarder, and Ty Long's going to come out. Well, it's a 50.
He has hit from 52 this year. He's 6 for 6 from 50 or beyond.
And it's been a good season for Ty Long, and I don't want to be disrespectful with regards to his nomination as outstanding player and outstanding special teams player. But my vote may have been for Brian Burnham, or on defense, TJ Lee.
And is that a time count violation or not? The clock has ticked down. There was a personnel issue for the Lions.
Time count violation. BC, number 17. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
That just makes it a
now are you punting?
55-yard.
It's going to be a punt now.
Now they're going to punt it.
So somebody didn't get on the field, and it cost them a chance to go for 3. Terry Williams back in the lineup. He drops deep, and now Long, the leading punter in the league, will handle that duty and look for a pin. Trying to kick it inside the 10 for the 10th time this year, and he has nailed it. Trying to live up to the MOP credentials, and he sends it down around the 5-yard line, and it's a long field for Bo Levi Mitchell to start here in this critical game for Calgary as they try to lock down first in the CFL West. Well, for the first time, Bo Levi Mitchell starts a game 18 for Calgary when something's on the line, and there's a lot as they try and nail down first place. Long field to start, and Don Jackson runs into Devon Coleman. Bo Lacumbo in on the stop. Couple of the Lion nominees as we set the Calgary offense for you.
Bo Levi Mitchell is their outstanding player nominee. They get Bakari Grant into the lineup, can use him as a veteran, that real young receiving core all of a sudden due to all the injuries, and really have to get the running game going with Don Jackson. There is their outstanding offensive lineman nominee for the Calgary Stampeders at left tackle, Derek Dennis.
They've averaged just 50 yards rushing in their 3 losses. They've averaged only 275 net yards in their last 4 games. Second long here. Flag comes down, open target, and the catch is made by Bakari Grant. Let's check the flag. Should be a first down. Looks like BC might have been offside.
Bakari Grant's been in Calgary for a few weeks practicing with the team, and this is the first time he draws into
Offside.
the lineup.
BC, number 58. Penalties declined. Play results in a first down.
Dresses tonight for Eric Rogers, who was a little nicked in their last game versus the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. But you know, Bakari Grant has a tremendous amount of experience in the Canadian Football League. This will be his 8th season.
I'm glad somebody found him. I mean, he had 1,033 yards last year, 84 catches, best season of his career. And for some reason, it takes till game 18 for him to get in a CFL lineup this year. And here is Longley, and he's going the other way with nobody around, and William Longley is into BC territory, dropped at the Lion 45-yard line.
Yeah, just not covered coming out of the backfield. Mike always starts at linebacker. Not sure if it was his responsibility or TJ Lee. Looks like he's trying to direct traffic to the left of Awe, and they're all locked in the zone drops to the quarterback, Bo Levi Mitchell. Longleg gets out of the backfield and has got lots of room to rumble.
33 yards for Longleg. Only 72 receiving yards all season prior to that play. Sets up as a receiver once again. First and 10. Crosser, that is broken up. Intended for Longleg for a second straight time.
Take a look at some of the nominees for the BC Lions. They come on the defensive side of the ball. Claudel Lewis gets the nod for rookie. Defensive player nominee is Davon Coleman. 2 interior defensive linemen. I liked TJ Lee this season. Bo Lacombo, outstanding Canadian nominee for BC. TJ Lee led the team in defensive plays in the secondary. And
I'm with you. It's pretty clear we didn't get a vote.
no.
TJ Lee's had an all-star year. Here's second and 10, and that pass batted down. Great coverage by Otha Foster on Markeith Ambles.
But mission accomplished for Bo Levi Mitchell, getting out of the hole. This drive started down his 4-yard line, so he gets to beyond midfield and a chance for points. That's a successful drive when you're backed up that far to open this game on the road.
And now Calgary can start with a 52-yard field goal attempt from Rene Paredes. And if good, it would be the 350th of his career. So trying to match his season long. Puts it up, and it's good. So the Stamps strike first on a long ranger from Rene Paredes, number 350 in his career. Well, he's been part of this league since 1972, was part of the terrific Montreal teams of the 70s, who had the great rivalry with Edmonton, a fumble recovery for Wally Buono in a Grey Cup game, and here's a sack on Tom Wilkinson, a couple of Grey Cups as a player, a punter, linebacker. Different combination back then for a guy who was even better as a coach.
Regular season game number 450 for Wally Buono.
Rainey takes the kickoff and won't reach the 35-yard line, stopped around the 33. Patrick Levels, Tunde Adeleke involved, and there's the top defensive player for the Stamps in 2018.
Yeah, outstanding defensive player nominee, Micah Johnson, right in the middle with 13 sacks, just 2 off the league lead. And if he can get those 2 tonight, unheard of for a defensive tackle to either tie or lead the league in sacks. There's 2 other nominees. Outstanding special team nominee, Jameer Thurman, back in the lineup tonight. Alex Singleton, outstanding Canadian. Their rookie, Trey Roberson, starting back at that corner for Calgary.
There's Lulay throwing into the flat, complete. Brian Burnham's got the catch. And again, closing in on 1,000. He's now 3 away after an 11-yard reception.
Be his 3rd straight. And boy, has he made some acrobatic catches, some great catches this year. You think back to the overtime game against Hamilton, and they taking him to overtime, getting that toe in bounds in the end zone, the 2-point convert. Just some outstanding plays from number 16.
First down, BC 44. And it's Sutton. Not much there. Micah Johnson closed that down in a hurry. Dominant season for him.
You can bet that Devon Claybrooks and Dave Dickinson have been emphasizing the run game, both offensively, getting Don Jackson going, and stopping the run defensively. They've been over 100 yards their last 3 games allowed along the ground.
139 on average the last 3 games, so really out of character for a team that's number 1 against the run at under 90 yards per game for the entire season. Second and 10, and there's the hit by Burnham that will put him over 1,000 and in terrific company. 3rd time as a BC Lion, joining Manny Arsenault, G. Roy Simon, Mervyn Fernandez, and Darren Flutie.
Boy, a timing route. They're putting him in an isolation position against Trey Roberson and testing Trey back in the lineup. missed last week.
First down, Calgary 50. And a crosser. They got Burnham involved again, and he's got another first down. Stamps bench thought a BC Lion was offside on the play, but no flags, and the chains are moving.
This is the Brian Burnham drive. Started out with that quick out. Nice deep timing out for the last first down, and now this time the crosser against the zone look for the Calgary Stampeders defensively.
Just 2 for 65 in the last game against Calgary. Burnham already with 3 catches in this first quarter. Now Sutton can't get the ground game going yet. Jameer Thurman back in the lineup, and he crashes down from his weak side linebacker spot.
They're focusing on this. I mean, you could see the Calgary defense has got it dialed in, and here's when you take a look at their running game offensively. 38, 53, 59 against Winnipeg. Not enough. And then against that defense that, as you mentioned, for the first half of the season were dominant, both stopping the run and pass. It's been a different story in the last 10.
Still first or second in almost every category, but for most of the year, first in everything. Goulet gonna sling that one out, and it's intercepted. Overthrows the target, Anthony Parker, and Ciante Evans has the interception, his second of the year. So twice the Lions drive down into scoring range, but come away empty-handed. This time it's a turnover inside the 10. He has said it's a winning business, and he's done a lot of winning in his distinguished coaching career.
51 more wins than the late Don Matthews in second spot. You consider 23 out of 25 of his years as a head coach, he has made the playoffs. 13 times finished first.
The long field for Calgary after the interception, and here's Don Jackson hit a speed, and he goes second level all the way up to the Lion 29-yard line. A 24-yard run for Don Jackson.
We'll take a look at how he got outside here, because wow, they popped this. It looks like he's taking that wide pitch. You've got pulling all the way around is Brad Erdos, and away he goes. Trying to get that run game going. It's a good start.
He's averaged just 46 yards on the ground in his last 5 games, but off to a good start here. They hand it back off to him inside, and he's up around the 34 for 5 more.
Sometimes
that was Terry Williams that time.
Sorry, Chris. Sometimes running the football is just about attitude and wanting to go out and make it happen. The want-to factor of those guys up front. You know that Dave Dickinson has been talking about this the last month. Got to be better running the football. Establish the line of scrimmage. That's on those big guys, and saw a couple of key blocks. Randy Richards, who's back in the lineup at right tackle on that last big run. He made a block, and so did Erdos.
Second and 4. Mitchell to throw. Out of the backfield, it's caught by Ambles, and he pulled down by Gary Peters, but Calgary out of a hole again, and another first down up over their 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's the second time now that Bo Levi Mitchell's taken the field. He's got that look in his eye, that great focus, trying not to look at Ambles coming out of the backfield there on that wide throw until the last second. But 2 successful drives already, no matter how this ends, to get out of the hole, out of inside his own 10 to start the last 2 drives.
70 yards passing for Mitchell so far. Takes the handoff, and there's Bakari Grant, and Peters on the scene along with TJ Lee. Odell Willis there as well, and Bakari Grant strung out for little or no gain.
Quarterbacks need that intermediate guy who can read the defense as well as they can, especially playing against players that can make it happen like TJ Lee. They got to make that decision in a split second. I think Bakari Grant could be that guy for the Calgary Stampeders with all their injuries.
Yep.
They've got an all-star team of receivers on the 6 game right now.
Missing 5 of their top 6, a combined 3,113 yards. on the injury list. Mitchell throwing, and Prescott brings it down. Great hands, and Prescott pulling away, showing you some speed too inside the 20. He's the only member of the top 6 in Calgary receiving in the lineup here tonight.
I'll take a look at the route. He's going to outside stem on Gary Peters and then break back across his body into the middle. The ball's thrown on time, picks up some yards after the catch.
He's had just a couple of catches in the last 3 games, first against BC, but it's a big one, 42-yard connection. And Calgary's into the red zone. First down, Lions 20. Mitchell going through the reads and incomplete. Trying to connect with Ambles, working against TJ Lee.
12 knockdowns, number 1 in the CFL for number 6. 99 total defensive plays. Defensive backs normally don't get to that number. It's unusual. They just don't see enough action when they're covering receivers all the way down the field. It's mostly linebackers who get up there in the 100, over 100 defensive plays. But another knockdown for TJ Lee.
9th in the league in those defensive plays. 2nd and 10 for Calgary. Here comes Heat. Mitchell gets it away and incomplete. Lee broke it up with Bakari Grant unable to hold on.
Did he get his hand in there somehow? Because it looked like Bakari Grant right here on this crossing route had a shot at it. The ball was put right on him. And he did. I think the left hand came over the top and knocked it out of there. 14 knockdowns now, 2 on that drive alone for TJ Lee.
So Paredes called upon for the 2nd time in the first quarter from 27 out. Has hit from 52 and he doubles Calgary's lead. It's 6-0 here late in the opening quarter. That's 3 points off turnovers after the Evans interception. 5 Grey Cup titles on the resume for Wally Buono. It all began with the 1992 championship. Jeff Garcia helped lead the 98 team. The biggest surprise, I think, the only time they likely were underdogs was 2001 when Wally Buono's crew upset Winnipeg. They won again in 2006 and at home in 2011. And if you're Wally Buono, you can call off the Gatorade as they celebrated in 2011. Let's go to Farhan Lalji.
Everybody knows Wally has done so much with great quarterbacks in the league in the past, but when I've asked him who his favorite players were, who the best players were that he coached, he mentions 2, Alan Bitts and this guy, Geroy Simon. How much did he mean not just to the Lions, but the entire Canadian Football League?
Wally's been great for everybody in the, a lot of people in the league, across Canada, across North America. He's giving so many guys opportunities. We're all indebted to him because he's been such a huge part of our lives.
Now, one of his strengths is he's been able to make tough decisions. Everyone says he can get rid of players before their best before date is passed. He did that with you. You didn't like it. Now you're working for him. What did you learn from him?
I think the biggest lesson is, you can't get married to a player no matter how much you like them, how much they've been productive for you. Sometimes you got to move on, but it shows that he still cared for me and brought me back.
Will it be the same?
No, not at all. we'll have more control now.
Thanks for this, Geroy.
Thank you.
Now, there was always a knack that he seemed to have of identifying when a great player was starting to tail off. I mean, I think a lot of people were shocked when Alan Bitts was let go by Wally Buono, but and one of the all-time greats like Geroy.
Well, he was asked yesterday at the press conference what's changed from early in his coaching career when he was in Calgary to, the last few years. And he says coaches now have to adapt to players and have to give the players the why, not just tell them what to do.
610 players have played under Wally Buono. Here's Devere Posey with the catch. I actually think it'd be more than 610, but the organizations he ran in Calgary and BC have been ones where there haven't been a whole lot of turnover, but there has been a lot of success.
Thought it was quite an interesting answer when you consider, because when you watch Wally Buono do his thing from the outside looking in, you think he's a my way or the highway kind of guy, but he has talked about having to evolve and adapt to players over the last 5 to 10 years.
second and 4. Only converted 3 of 19 last week. Bump there on Burnham, the intended target. Trey Roberson in tight and incomplete. So the Lions forced to punt after the incomplete pass intended for Burnham. Terry Williams back, and Ty Long steps into that. Booms it back to the 20. Here comes Williams. And Williams bumps it outside. Special teams are helping out here for the Calgary Stampeders as Terry Williams brings it back near midfield. 58-yard punt, 33 on the return.
That's just one. That's all day, baby. Now take a look at the work of Terry Williams here on the return. First of all, there's only one Bolacumbo BC Lion that was even in the shot when he caught the football. So coverage team a little bit behind Williams. Got to get him surrounded as he's receiving the ball.
So the best field position of this first quarter to start for Calgary. At the Stamp 53-yard line, play action fake and a pass caught over the middle. Nice catch by Chris Matthews.
Chris Matthews in his 4th starts, been around for 5 games. Again, with those injuries, they've tried to work in this new receiving core for Bo Levi Mitchell. Dave Dickinson talking about wanting to get them on the same page and create some chemistry. And Chris Matthews, a potential 1,500-yard guy. And if they can get hot going into the playoffs, it's going to be tough to stop. Targeted about 5 times a game in his 3 starts.
Mitchell at 125 passing yards. Not done the first quarter yet. And he wants more here. Wants Matthews. Stretching out. And he's got it.
There's some chemistry. Little bit of trust. Well covered, Chris Matthews, and Bo Levi Mitchell throws it up to him. Mitchell leads the league in the 30-plus pass completions with 39 coming into the final week of the season. What a catch by Chris Matthews.
That's spectacular stuff. They mark him at the 1.
You can't cover any better than Anthony Orange did on that play, and Matthews still came up with it.
44-yard connection. Matthews had a touchdown in the first meeting against BC. Final play of the opening quarter, the Stampeders trying to punch it in. On Jackson, straight ahead, touchdown. Impressive first quarter for the Calgary Stampeders. 3rd touchdown run of the campaign for Jackson.
Boy, good push by the O-line. I mean, Don Jackson started on the 7-yard line, wasn't touched till past the goal line, and then 3-4 yards into the end zone. Big boys getting it done up front.
3 weeks ago, 13-0 Lions after the opening quarter. A convert away from Calgary, turning the tables here in the opening quarter tonight. But they're going to go for 2 and look for a 14-point first quarter lead. 8 for 16 in this department. And Mitchell looks back in the end zone for ambles, and Otha Foster knocks it down. And Calgary will settle for 6. But an impressive opening quarter.
All trades, man. Don J and Shaheed, man. Shout out to them boys, man. West side.
Former Green Bay Packer Jackson into the end zone. Bo Levi Mitchell hot in the opening quarter. And it's 12-0 Stampeders. The impressive numbers for the Calgary Stampeders in that first quarter of play.
Yeah, it looks like they were working some things out offensively. Got nice passing total there, 33 yards, on pace for over 100. That's one area that Dave Dickinson wanted to improve upon.
And if you ask Wally if he liked that first quarter, he'd say, no, 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 no. Not what he was looking for on Wally Buono night here. The big heads are throughout the stadium, and he'd be disappointed with what he saw in that first quarter of play because they were in scoring range a couple of times and didn't get anything.
Yeah, that was most impressive about the Calgary Stampeders first quarter. They started their first two drives on their own 5-yard line, and Bo Levi Mitchell got them out of that hole. That was a chance for Wally Buono's group to really take advantage of the field being tilted in their favor, but two positive drives that ended in field goals got Calgary out of that bad field position.
Paredes kicks it off. Chris Rainey trying to improve the field position, but they haven't been able to get beyond the 35 on the kickoffs. Rimolade with the tackle. Travis Lulay 5 for 8, 77 in the first quarter.
Well, he's been hot at home this season. The BC Lions with the best home record in the league at 7-1, and Travis Lulay started in 5 of those games. Is 4-1 with a nice touchdown interception ratio. So a lot of football to be played here tonight. And again, Wally Buono deciding to go with his starters. And he said yesterday at the press conference, said he owed it to the fans to go out and try and play at a high standard and bounce back from a loss in Saskatchewan last week.
Swinging out to Rainey here, gets a block, and Rainey puts his head down and drives up near the 45, and that's a first down for BC.
And Chris Rainey back. He missed last week due to injury, so he's back in the lineup. I still believe, Chris, it's a little risky to have Travis Lulay and your starting quarterback in a game like this for BC. They are crossing over and going to play Hamilton in the semifinal. They know that, and the outcome of this game won't change that. But Wally Buono had a different approach, and he's going with the starters. See if they can bounce back and climb back into this one.
I wonder if it would have been different had they been better last week. They weren't sharp. This is what you don't want, exposing Travis Lulay on that kind of play, but he hits the deck before Thurman can get a real good hit on the quarterback and takes it up near the 50.
Yeah, it's an interesting point. I mean, they lost in a game where Travis Lulay was actually pulled. I mean, Lulay did not put up good numbers against Saskatchewan early in that. He was only 9 of 20, under 100 yards passing. So it might be part of that was the decision for Wally Buono. But I think throughout his past, he's made that similar decision.
2nd and 5. Lulay's got some time, puts it up, and that's a jump ball that is batted away by Emmanuel Davis. Intended for Posey, but plenty of Stampeders in the neighborhood.
Well, it's such a long throw that took so long to develop for Lulay. It allowed Calgary to rally to it. I mean, Seontae Evans, that wasn't his man, but he had time to get back there. I mean, you end up, it's 1-on-3. So DeVere Posey just basically knocking that down was a good play for BC.
Terry Williams waits back at the Calgary 10. And this time, better job by the cover team led by Herdman. Jordan Herdman with his 16th special teams tackle of the year.
It's my pleasure to add my voice to so many others in tribute to Wally Buono and his unbelievable career in the Canadian Football League. It was also my honor to be able to say that I coached Wally Buono during his playing days, way back there in the 1970s when he was such an outstanding linebacker for the Montreal Alouettes. I have followed his career with great interest, with delight, and with so much gratification to see this fine man accomplish what he had on behalf of himself and the game we all love. Congratulations, Wally. What an honor it was for me to be able to say that I was your coach back in your playing days.
Boy, that's something coming from a Pro Football Hall of Famer, Marv Levy, the legendary coach. on both sides of the border. Pro Football Hall of Famer. Still not sure why he's not in the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. But clearly a huge influence on Wally Buono's coaching success.
A lot of tributes coming in, and congratulations on a tremendous career for Wally Buono, well deserved, and pretty cool when it's guys like Marv Levy.
Bringing back as Rob Maber set to punt. Rainey going to run up on this around the 43. And he'll be brought down at the 49-yard line. Well, you've heard from Marv Levy. Here's Wally Buono on the impact of the great Levy on his career.
The thing I've always appreciated about Marv is when he was in the NFL, going to Super Bowls, he never forgot about his players that played for him. He always, when you ran into him at a game or something, he always made you feel very special, and he always appreciated what you did for him.
So the Lions have the football near midfield, but down by a dozen here early in the second quarter. Handoff inside isn't going anywhere. Crashing down Derek Wigan with the tackle. And right now, Calgary's winning the battle up front.
Well, the first line of defense against the run are the defensive tackles, and you get Derek Wigan and Micah Johnson in there. That's tough to move those guys out of the middle. If they get the push and win the line of scrimmage, the running back automatically has to pause or bounce outside, and that takes time, allows linebackers to rally to it.
2nd and 11. Four-man rush. Lule to the wide side. Got it there in a hurry, but the coverage got there in a hurry too from Emmanuel Davis.
Second down, Lule.
Brings down Corey Watson. Little or no gain, and the kick team has to come on. Davis with an outstanding first year as a member of the Calgary Stampeders secondary.
Yeah, leads their group in interceptions with 4. He's the #1 defensive back on their team in defensive plays. Another one there for Emmanuel Davis. Wally Buono's been trying to win the field position battle with these punts. Getting good kicks from Ty Long, but Levi Mitchell driving right back.
Flag comes down as Long was contacted. Calgary nearly got to the football, but it's going to be a penalty against the Stampeders. Is it contact or roughing? The guy, their penalty will give BC a first down.
Calgary, number 33, 10-yard penalty. This will make it a first down.
Well, contacting, but it was 3rd and 10. So it's first down for the BC Lions. Let's take a look. Leg in the air on the follow through.
And he sold it. He's done that a few times this year, but I think that's the first time it's worked. But it's not going to likely survive the challenge that Dave Dickinson just tossed out.
And Dave Dickinson's going to be upset that he has to challenge this. And let's say this about what just happened. It's not soccer.
Calgary is challenging the previous play, which was called for contacting the kicker. This will be reviewed. After review, the ruling on the field has been overturned. There is no penalty for contacting the kicker. This is Calgary's ball now, first down at the 29-yard line.
So the replay clear. Eric Metzalera, the rookie out of McMaster.
It's he's learning so much.
On camera time because he did not commit a foul.
Well, and I'm going to propose a rule change right here and now. If a kicker embellishes like Ty Long just did, that not only should not be a penalty that can be corrected by the video official back in Toronto, but also it should be a penalty against BC. 15 yards for embellishing a call.
At least a red card.
Thank you.
So it is Calgary football. Mitchell throws the hitch. That's Lamar Durant, the Vancouver area product, who always gets jacked up for these games, and he has a catch and a first down. Well, let's see where they're going to mark it. Just looks like it might be second in an inch or two.
Bo's locked in. Bo is locked in.
Yep.
Chris, he's like he's focused. He's blocked out any of the outside noise. Being on the road, this is a good crowd here tonight too in Wally Buono's last game at BC Place, but a lot on the line for the Calgary Stampeders. They want to lock up first place in the division.
Best crowd of the year for sure here at BC Place. Arbuckle to sneak for the first down as he ducked behind Ducombre Williams and Brett Erdos. The SFU product at right guard who plays all 18 for the Stamps this year.
You got to believe, though, that Bo Levi Mitchell and this receiving core, they continue to work at it in practice, but at some point you got to stop making it the excuse. And I'm not saying Calgary has, or that they've done it, or Dave Dickinson has done it, but at some point you got to say, this is what we got, guys. The guys are in the huddle right now is what we got. The other guys are hurt, not available, so we either get it done together or we don't. They look locked in right now.
It doesn't look like there's any shortage of talent. There's a nice stick there by the middle linebacker, Micah Awe.
Missed the last couple of starts since his return, but he and Jordan Herdman have done a pretty nice job replacing Solomon Elamimian. It doesn't look like Solomon will be back this year, but
well, they say that wrist still at only 60%. Not completely ruled out, but you're right, doesn't look like it. Unless the Lions can extend the season the distance. Mitchell over the middle, and a pitch and catch to Matthews, and another Calgary first down. As Chris Matthews moves the chains.
Just, we've seen this before when Bo is locked in, and it's just a feel thing. It's look at him with the look off to his right, steps into the throw. The timing is bang on. Chris Matthews takes a step back to the ball.
12-yard connection. Mitchell has climbed over another quarterback star on the all-time list, passing Bernie Maloney tonight, number 21 all-time. Blitz from Lacombo, and Wolfa Foster will wrestle Ambles down at the 48-yard line.
How about that escape? Escapability by Bo Levi Mitchell, just blind turn to get out of trouble. I mean, that was a blitz down Main Street, and it looked like he was caught.
Kind of an underrated quality of his, isn't it?
Well, his ability to manage the pocket. Bo Lacombo was free. But his ability to manage the pocket, shuffle his feet, move and find a throwing lane is as good or better than any in the league. That's the challenge for defensive coordinator Mark Washington.
Odell Willis looked like he was offside. Mitchell able to evade him and get it to Durant. Would be a first down. And again, it looked like Odell was ahead of the snap.
Sometimes he's so quick out of the gate, and he's a little lighter in the pocket.
Offside,
so
BC, number 11. Penalties declined, play results, and a first down.
Lighter in the pocketbook this week after the game in Saskatchewan, but
we'll have more on that coming up. An interesting week for number 11. And in his world, every week seems to be interesting.
You know those Wally Buono masks that we had? He had one for the coin toss.
He leads the league in coin toss.
Yes, he enjoys that part of it.
First and 10. Another flag. Mitchell going deep. Brescison can't reach it. He was open a couple of strides in behind Gary Peters.
Offside, BC, number 20. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
This time Lacombo offside, so back-to-back offside infractions, and there was Odell.
we'll have more on his week and his discussion with the commissioner from far end. But there's Odell having a little fun with the coin toss. And don't mistake him having a little bit of fun before they kick it off with lack of focus or that he doesn't care. I mean, he's an outstanding football player. Had a fine for a hit against Zach Collaros.
11 sacks on the year for him. Don Jackson on 1st and 5, not much there.
On 1st and 5, Don Jackson.
Odell Willis
lost his lid.
Odell Willis is always prepared to play, so he likes to have fun. There's no question, but you should have fun when you're out there.
Second, it's like 2.5 that Willis checks back in. Fans haven't had much to cheer about here so far tonight. Sampson crashed the party. Bakari Grant getting loose on the slant, and another Stampeder first down. Mitchell over 200 yards passing in this first half. 14 more to Bakari Grant.
Bakari Grant had noticed that the pre-snap motion took the middle linebacker right out of there. So it was the quick slant inside with no middle linebacker to cut off the throwing lane, and the completion and first down.
Sharp as we've seen the Stamps on both sides of the football, all 3 phases in a number of weeks, trying to avoid their first 4-game losing streak since 2004. First down, Mitchell in for Longley, and that's knocked down. Anthony Orange got a hand on it, as William Longley's been a bigger part of this offense so far tonight.
Interesting schemes from Dave Dickinson to put Longley out. That would become a bit more of a receiver from that fullback spot. Maybe not covered. He wasn't early in the game in the first quarter, heading the other direction, had a big play. That time picked up by a pretty good cover corner, Anthony Orange.
No, 2nd and 10, 11th play of the drive at the BC 23. Mitchell throws over the middle. There's a flag down. The pass caught. Ambles has got it. And TJ Lee in an animated discussion. Seen the target of the flag, or did he get picked on the play?
I was going to say,
Illegal contact on a receiver, BC, number 6. Penalties declined. Play results, first down.
TJ Lee kind of rerouted Bakari Grant in a little change motion between Grant and Brescison. They're right here. One goes one way, the other comes the other way. Watch TJ Lee step into it. He's right there.
The ball on the 10, 1st and goal. And Peter's trying to widen the lead into the end zone. It's a touchdown. Markeith Ambles with touchdowns now in 4 consecutive games.
I was going to say that last play that the Lions got the penalty. The route that Bakari Grant ran on that play it looked like it wasn't the right route. There was 2 receivers side by side. Mitchell still completed that pass, and look at all the defensive players for the BC Lions surrounding Ambles on the touchdown throw, but Bo got it in there.
12-play drive, 81 yards, over 6 minutes. And the Stampeders look like the Stampeders here in the first half.
Yeah, you're right. And a team with something on the line against a team that doesn't have anything on the line. But
this is the team that Calgary fans have been waiting to see again for a number of weeks. Looks like they're right back on track. Well, season that began with 7 straight wins, that won 5 of their next 7 before the 3 losses, trying to end it on the right note. And for just under a half, the Calgary Stampeders have dominated here tonight. crashing the Wally Buono party. Rainey on the return. Again, can't get much beyond the 30 in this case. Driven back from the 30-yard line. And one last play before the warning. Be interesting to see if this half impacts what Wally Buono elects to do with Travis Lulay and Jonathan Jennings in the second half.
Did hear that we may see Jennings in the game. Again, I believe a little risky to even have Lulay out there.
Earlier in the week, he said Jennings would play if they got too far ahead or behind. But just prior to game time, talked about Jennings getting at least a quarter. Here's Lulay swinging it out to Rainey. Rainey in space and is contained at the 35. So we hit the 3-minute warning here on Wally Buono night, but it's been all Calgary so far as they celebrate a Markeith Amble's touchdown and lead by 19.
Rod, the guys back in the studio getting set for halftime. We'll talk about how the Stampeders look tonight as they look to clinch first in the West. They did that many times when Wally Buono was their head coach. BC, a lot of success with Buono as well. He'll be honored at the half. Stick around. Let's go back to Chris and Glenn.
Okay, Rod, thank you. 283 yards for the Stamps already in this game. 111 for BC. 5 first downs in the opening half. To salvage something here in the first half on this drive. 2nd and 5. Flags are flying. Couple of flags, in fact. One in the backfield and one downfield.
First half success defensively for Calgary, though, has been stopping the run on first down, getting Travis Lulay in 2nd and long, and then covering the inside in the middle of the field and forcing Lulay to throw it to the wide side boundary. And that's a tough throw to make. It's a long way to go.
Illegal block, hands to the face, BC, number 63. Defensive pass interference, Calgary, number 31. These balance will bounce off each other. We'll replay the down, 2nd down.
So the penalties against Ola Fioye of the Lions, Roberson for Calgary. So they'll do it again. Stampeder defense had given up 972 yards in the last 2 starts. Stouter tonight for sure. Wide side throw, Ricky Collins the catch, and Ricky Collins has a BC first down at the 45.
Yeah, they were 2nd and medium on that with the 2 penalties canceling each other out. But take a look. I mean, this is what Calgary is voiding right here. They're saying if you're going to throw it on 2nd and long or 2nd and medium, it's got to be the wide side throw. Now this time Lulay gets it, and he gets it to that open flat to the wide side, but it's a tough throw to make consistently.
Arimolade with a knockdown as he got his hand on that football, disrupting the Lulay pass. And it will be 2nd and 10.
Arimolade on the, again, this was to the short side of the field, but timing there, he took away the passing lane. We'll see if Lulay's forced to throw it out towards his own bench.
2nd and 10. Draw play Sutton. And Sutton contained again. Arimolade involved. Alex Singleton, another tackle. The league's leader in that department.
Another 100+ year tackles. 115 coming in for Alex Singleton. Outstanding Canadian nominee. That'll be an interesting battle in the West. Andrew Harris out of Winnipeg.
Long punting. Terry Williams back. A big boot. And Williams with a decent return beyond the 20-yard line as we check back in with Farhan Lalji.
Guys, it has been an interesting week for Lions defensive end Odell Willis. In the middle of the week, he was fined the maximum amount by the league for a hit on Zach Collaros, and the hit didn't originally draw a penalty flag, but going forward after that, the league admitted that it made a bit of a mistake, both from an officiating standpoint and in terms of Collaros being left in the field. So Willis, being very upset at what went down, essentially tweeted at the commissioner, "If you're going to fine me for leading with my shoulder, next time I'll lead with my head." That didn't go so well, and the next day the two men found themselves face-to-face at the Lions Waterboy breakfast, the commissioner here for the Wally Buono final home game celebrations. And after it was all said and done, rather than doubling down, Willis was fairly contrite, said he now understands what the league is looking for and vows to be a changed man going forward.
Team's offense for the Stampeders here tonight. Don Jackson is running wild, and another big pickup. That's a 38-yard romp for Jackson into Lion territory.
Well, this is the second time we've seen Erdos pull out here and lead the way on a run for Don Jackson and get it done. First of all, they seal down that side. Long lay from the fullback spot, almost lined up as a tight end, got a block.
As many yards on that run as he had last week against Winnipeg, 75 in the night. And that pass caught in front of Gary Peters as Ambles has another reception and a 7-yard gain.
Turnaround, Chris, for BC really has been on the backs of their defense. But if there is a weakness in this defense, it's their run D. And you take a look at the stats coming into this final week. They're 8th in the league coming in. Last week gave up 199 yards along the ground to Saskatchewan.
Yeah, they couldn't get off the field even though they knew the Rough Riders weren't throwing the ball.
You got a hot and focused and guy on his game in Bo Levi Mitchell throwing the football. Now it gets you guessing defensively.
It will change with the stats Calgary's piling up tonight, but for the last 2/3 of the year into today's game, Calgary, or BC, excuse me, had the best defense in the league as far as yards allowed are concerned. Willis a tackle there on Terry Williams. But they've put up some big numbers here in this first half. Mitchell 252 yards passing and 342 net yards of offense. And we aren't through 30 minutes. Mitchell, Bakari Grant, and incomplete. TJ Lee in his hip pocket on that play.
A little chemistry with a couple of the receivers, that's part of it. Locked in, Bo Levi Mitchell another, but 75 yards rushing on 8 carries by Don Jackson. I think it starts there, because if you're getting that kind of production in a half of football along the ground, it means you're controlling the line of scrimmage, and Calgary's done that on both sides tonight so far.
Team that's averaged 19 points scored in their last 4 games, about to top that in the first half as Paredes puts it up and through, and it's 22-0 here in the opening half for the visitors.
It's playoff football right now.
We have to finish this. Everything you got. Everything.
Every single play. We're going to etch our name in that boat. It's no other result, but we need that field with a win. Let's go!
Did you just get goosebumps?
Yeah, I was just going to say.
Because I just got goosebumps.
That's what it's all about. 3 weeks away.
We get ready to get going here next week in the first round of the playoffs.
Well, the decision desk isn't an act yet, but Winnipeg might be checking in to hotel reservations in Regina for next week. Lions know they'll be in Hamilton. Catch for Sutton, another tackle for Singleton.
Yeah, well, and you know, it's a half to play here, so I hear you, CC, but you know, when you also think about Wally Buono's decision at halftime now, does he come back and leave his starters in here down 22-0 if Lule can't generate any points in 25 seconds?
There's another knockdown and an interception. Derek Wiggins got the interception. Micah Johnson got a paw on the football, and it's another interception for that front four. In fact, it's the 4th by a member of the front four for Calgary this season.
Micah Johnson makes the play. Just a beast this year from that defensive tackle spot. Basically unblockable, and if you do get your hands on him, he can still make the play. He's got an interception this year.
Garrett Davis had 2, and now Derek Wigan has his first of the season.
And some D linemen with picks this year. A couple in Saskatchewan for Willie Jefferson. Davon Coleman for the BC Lions has a couple this year.
Did I mention Derek Wiggins is from Queens? Here comes Bo Levi Mitchell with a few seconds to work with here. Durant stacked up with 8 on the clock. Do they run one more play? Don Jackson comes in, and looks like they will take one shot.
Yeah, I was going to say Lamar Durant needed to catch that and go down to give Bo Levi Mitchell at least one more shot at it, and maybe an end zone route here, and then go back to the field goal on 3rd down. But yeah, with 8 seconds, not enough.
They changed their mind. Looked like they were going to try one more play, and then the field goal unit comes on. So they'll wrap up what is almost a letter perfect opening half if Paredes puts this through. Up and good. 25-0 at the half. And the Stampeders 30 minutes away from another first place finish. Not the way it was scripted on Wally Bono night. Let's head to the panel and join Brad Smith.
Thank you, Chris, along with Henry and Chesney and Milton. I think the Saskatchewan Roughriders may want to consider start thinking about Winnipeg next week. I mean, hey, there's still another half to play, but Calgary looking a whole lot better than the team that had just lost 3 games in a row coming into this game.
And these are the Calgary Stampeders we got used to seeing. You know, Bo Levi Mitchell, of course, throwing it down the field. You see Don Jackson getting it down on the ground. It all starts, like you talked about, Henry, with that offensive line. They're allowing Bo Levi Mitchell to step back and open up the holes for Don Jackson. He has a little rapport now with some veterans in Matthews and Grant. So that's big going into that playoff game. They're looking really good.
Having Chris Matthews in the boundary there, you know, a boundary receiver, a guy with big, strong hands like Chris Matthews, it's great for him because security blanket, you know you can get one-on-one there. On the flip side, having Roberson back at boundary corner is big. You know this Calgary secondary full of veterans. You can lock that guy up on the boundary there, and now B. Smith and Wall could do what they do best and play with their eyes and play off. Huge having him back this week.
Well, we talked about the foundation of that Calgary team since day one this season has been that defense, and it starts up front with the disruptor, Micah Johnson, stopping the run. We're talking about a running offense led by Tyrell Sutton, who put up over 100 yards rushing. Right now, he's been held to 13 yards rushing. And when the D-line flows, linebackers make plays, it opens up chances for the secondary to get interceptions like Keontae Evans did right here. I tell you, this defense has been swarming all day. And again, these guys had to show up because once they lost their focus down the stretch and teams were putting up over 300 yards of total offense, rushing for over 100 yards, it wasn't the same Calgary Stampeders. And it was even great to see Michael Johnson get a tip which turned into an interception for Derek Wigan. And now he has like a little memo he can keep for himself forever.
Quick thoughts about this. For BC, the game of importance is next week in Hamilton. How long do they stay with their #1 guys like Travis Lulay?
I don't know why they were playing in this. I know why they were playing because Wally wanted to go out with a bang, but it's not looking good for him. I maybe come out, give him a series, and get him out.
Micah was limping too, and I wouldn't have had him in there in the first place, to be honest. But I would even think about getting Bo out. You're up 25 points. See what happens. If BC doesn't score once or twice, then you put him back in. But I would even think about taking Bo out right now.
Finish with a good taste in their mouth. They got to score. They got to get something positive offensively going.
Yeah, initially they wanted to win one for Wally one more time, but they'd rather win it for Wally next week. In Hamilton, Wally Buono, he will be honored. A ceremony coming up at BC Place for all those wins. And he's not done yet.
Can we take Milt out?
Take Milt out. Not yet. Not yet. Great halftime stats if you're a Stampeder fan. The defense pitching a shutout. Don Jackson on the ground, 75 yards. Chris Matthews, 67 yards receiving and 3 catches. And Bo Levi Mitchell, 17 and 24, 257 and a touchdown toss. Here's Bo with Farhan Lalji.
Bo, after 3 straight losses, is this more like it?
Yeah, this looks like, the team that I know. Defense, special teams, offense, everybody's contributing. And that's what I like to see, man. The effort, everything is there, man. Guys are locked in. Guys want it. That's what I love.
No one seems to be more locked in than you. You had 2 first drives to start the game on your own 5-yard line. You were able to generate points off of those drives. What are you being able to get done with your receiving core that maybe wasn't happening at this level the last few weeks?
I think they feel comfortable now. They've had some time in the offense, but they've always been there. They've always known it. Right now they've got some confidence and they're going out and making plays for me.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not a memorable home finale for Wally Buono, even though it has no bearing in the standings, but it doesn't tarnish the great career which will be honored at BC Place. We'll go to that live ceremony that's coming up at the half on TSN. A coaching legend with both the Lions and Stampeders at the half at BC Place. Buono's final home game. Let's go to the ceremony honoring the CFL's winningest head coach.
Hey, Wally. Ladies and gentlemen, Wally Buono is retiring at season's end. Tonight, join us as we pay tribute to one of our game's all-time greatest legends and one of the most accomplished figures in the history of your BC Lions. It was Marv Levy who coached Buono during his 5 years as a pro with the Montreal Alouettes. Together, they won 2 Grey Cups, including a 1977 victory over the Edmonton Eskimos on the frigid Olympic Stadium turf, later dubbed the Ice Bowl. Wally retired as a player in 1982. He migrated west and joined the staff of the Calgary Stampeders and would help establish a CFL dynasty over his 13 seasons as coach. He helped groom some of the greatest quarterbacks the CFL has ever seen, from Doug Flutie to Jeff Garcia to Dave Dickinson. The late Bob Ackles was able to lure Buono to the West Coast from Calgary in early 2003, and the work to reshape the roster began almost immediately. It all paid off in 2006, a season that would go down as Wally's most dominant as head coach of the Lions. After a 13-5 finish and dominating victory over Saskatchewan in the Western Final, they took down the Montreal Alouettes to win their 5th Grey Cup in franchise history. It was the 6th championship of Wally's great career. His most monumental climb would come in 2011. A strong finish to 2010, combined with the 99th Grey Cup being held at a newly renovated BC Place, meant the expectations were sky high. After an 0-5 start, they were brought back down to earth pretty quickly. But funny things can happen in the wonderful world of Canadian football. Led by 2011 most outstanding player Travis Lulay, Wally's Army engineered a big second-half turnaround and clinched top spot in the West with a convincing 43-1 victory over Montreal to wrap up the regular season. Lulay and company kept it rolling in the Western Final over Edmonton and then defeated Winnipeg at home to win the 6th Grey Cup championship in club history. Although the wins were not always guaranteed, one thing that was throughout his brilliant life in football was his giving back to the community. Wally remains an ambassador to the Royal Columbian Hospital Foundation and a spokesperson for the Heart and Stroke Foundation, and also lends his support to the ALS Society of BC's Walk for ALS. But throughout his Hall of Fame career, Wally has always put his family first. He met his wife Sandy while attending Idaho State University. After marrying her in 1972, right before training camp, she stuck with him through thick and thin, on the field and off of it. They raised daughters Amy, Dana, and Christy, son Michael, and now love to spend time with their 9 grandchildren. The Buono family has indeed grown into one impressive roster of its own.
Our life has been about faith, family, and football. And you've won a lot of games, and you've lost a lot of games. And through it all, you've never wavered. You've been faithful, and you've been our rock. And we love you, we're proud of you, and I just can't wait to see what the next chapter is going to bring.
We love you, Papa!
He truly is a legend both on and off the field. Ladies and gentlemen, join us in congratulating Wally Buono on a remarkable career in football.
BC Lions fans, please rise. and make some noise as he makes his way back to the field to accept the CFL Bob Ackles Award. The CFL's all-time winningest coach, 7-time Grey Cup champion, 4-time CFL Coach of the Year in his 450th regular season appearance. Ladies and gentlemen, your head coach, Wally Buono. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting his award, Kay and Scott Ackles, the commissioner of the CFL, Randy Ambrosi, and the Buono family. Ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the CFL Bob Ackles Award winner and your head coach, Wally Buono.
What an amazing career. Henry Burris played for him in Calgary. Davis Sanchez played for him in BC. I'll start with you two, your memories of Wally Buono and what he meant to the league and as a head coach to you.
Well, I mean, a number of guys have issued the same sentiment of thanks to Wally. And you know, if it wasn't for Wally, I wouldn't have had a professional career. He helped me get my start back in 1997. Got my first Grey Cup ring playing under Wally. He taught me lots of great advice on what it took to become not only, a professional quarterback, a professional athlete, but also a father, a parent. He taught me all the important things as far as put the family first always, even though this game can consume so much of your life. I'm truly thankful and always in debt to a guy like Wally.
Yeah, for me, it's honesty and trust. His ability to motivate players with his honesty and the trust you had in him and his ability to be real with you. And that was what I appreciated most about Wally. He always told you how it is, whether you liked it or not, and his ability to really know how to motivate guys. I respect a lot about Wally for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I never got to play under him. I played against him, didn't like it. Really didn't. Never won against him really too much. First game in the CFL was against him, 1995. Didn't win that game. So, but congratulations on a great career for Wally.
And I'm sure he's so touched and honored by what's going on, but ever the competitor. I'm sure he's not a very happy man right now with what's going on with his BC Lions, even though it doesn't affect them in the standings. They get a game next week, a playoff game, but this is the last home game, and they're getting shut out by his old team, the Calgary Stampeders. Hey, thank you, Wally, indeed. We'll be back in the second half.
Big first half for the visitors at BC Place Stadium. We get set for the second half of play, but first let's head to the sidelines. The man honored at halftime is with Farhan Lalji.
Wally, we'll get to the game in a moment, but what did the halftime tribute, just everything that's gone on with your final game here mean to you?
Well, you know what? It's been very, very special, and it's been an exciting time for myself and my family, and obviously to get, this kind of love and acknowledgement says a lot about, our fans and the people of British Columbia.
As far as the game is concerned, you talked all week about the night for you not being important. You wanted a good performance. It certainly wasn't that. How would you describe the first half?
Well, you know what? You got to give credit to Calgary, and this was a big game for them. They came out very sharp. Bo Levi's very, very sharp, and right now they got a lot of emotion, and you probably just want to get the game over with.
What will you do in the second half as far as changes, personnel? Will we see Jonathan Jennings?
Jonathan's going to play the second half. Obviously, it's going to be important for him to get some reps. Defensively, we just got to make a play. We haven't made a play the whole night, and like I said, Dave's done a good job. Bo's really, really sharp right now, and even when we're close, we're not there.
Thanks, Wally.
Appreciate it.
So we'll get a look at Jonathan Jennings and a little more focus on next week for the BC Lions. Calgary halfway to earning a bye next week. They get the football first, and Terry Williams running hard up to the 40-yard line. set things up for Bo Levi Mitchell. An extraordinary first half, 17 of 24, 257, and 1 second here.
Locked in. First 2 drives from his own 5-yard line turned into points, both field goals. Bo Levi Mitchell found Chris Matthews, made some great catches in that first half, and Bo is locked in, as you mentioned. 17 of 24, on pace for over 500 yards passing.
And he's going to throw right off the hop here as he swings it out to Jackson. A little skip in his step as he lowers the boom on Winston Rose and drives forward for a pickup of 9.
Real nice block by Chris Matthews there. That ball was thrown behind the line of scrimmage. He could go downfield and block, and he did exactly that. Micah Alway right out of the play.
A scramble to get the short yardage crew on. Junior Turner checks in up front with Nick Arbuckle handling short yardage duty, 2nd and 1. An easy first down, this time behind Sheen Bergman, another one of the Calgary Stampeders who played in all 18 this year.
Don Jackson in that first half, Chris, a big first half and getting the running game going. 75 yards rushing in that first half. The last time he had a 20-yarder before tonight was back on Labor Day against the Edmonton Eskimos. That's where this running game had kind of deteriorated to, but
first quarter
back on track tonight.
Well, they're hitting on all cylinders, aren't they? Here's Jackson this time, pulled down. Nice defensive play by Jordan Herdman. And a couple of Lions down, and Davon Coleman able to get up, but is that Claudel Lewis? It is Lewis, who has been huge for the Lions this year, their top rookie. He had 9 tackles last week, and that's an unheard of total for a interior defensive lineman. So while he gets attention, we will step aside here early in the 3rd quarter. Jump over the Grey Cup heats up next Sunday. Remembrance Day playoffs kick off. Ticats playing host to these Lions in the Eastern semifinal showdown. Coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, across the TSN network and in 4K. As our colleague Wayne Ford mentioned, the only thing Wally Buono hasn't done is win the East. And well, no team crossing over has done that yet. Lions will try and do it. Hamilton has other plans. And so does Ottawa. Mitchell throwing incomplete, trying to connect with Bakari Grant once again. And the punt team comes on.
Coach Buono wanted a stop from his defense. He got it early in this second half. That's where, when you're behind 25 points, that's where the comeback has to start from. You know, a play or two on the defensive side, get the ball back into the hands of your offense, and see what Chris Rainey can do.
Take it right down 20 seconds. They'll take the time count.
Calgary, number 6. 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
See if there was an alignment issue, and that maybe caused the time count, but Dave Dickinson didn't like something he saw on the tablet. Unless they were just rerunning the last offensive series. Boy, the cover team's getting the job done, aren't they? A terrific play downfield by Patrick Levels to bring down Chris Rainey. Well, we've heard from a lot of people about Wally Buono, the appreciation they've had for him.
BC, number 36, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You know, I've said this over and over again. The CFL has given a lot of people an opportunity. So I look at it that I've had a great opportunity. I've had a great life because of it. You know, my family's had the ability to have a good life. You know, they've been a part of a lot of wins. They've been a part of a lot of losses. And, you know, whether it's my children or grandchildren, football has been a big part of their lives.
9 grandchildren, and I know that was special for him to have them a part of the ceremony at the half. Jonathan Jennings at quarterback, and Tyrell Sutton hasn't been able to get going so far tonight. Jameer Thurman another tackle as Jennings comes in. Wally Buono mentioned this week he liked the positive step forward Jennings took last week against Saskatchewan. It was one of the few silver linings from that game at Mosaic.
Yeah, in relief of Lule, went 5 of 8 for 61 yards. Did not throw an interception in that game, even though Saskatchewan pretty much took it top to bottom. But important reps for Lule in the bigger picture for him. You know, this team in BC has the playoff game in Hamilton to think about, but
Jennings 3-3 on the year and throws complete there to Corey Watson, just out of the reach of the outstretched arms of Brandon Smith, an 11-yard pickup.
For Jonathan Jennings, there's a chance that he may not be a BC Lion next year, and wants to impress other teams in the league if that's the case, or his own general manager had some critical words about a month ago about his backup quarterback in Jennings.
Calgary shows pressure in the flat, caught there by Sutton, who spins off first contact, then lunges ahead and turns it into a pickup of 8.
I thought it looked like he got pulled forward by his face mask, and there was no penalty flag, but clearly
Junior Turner
right here got the left hand right underneath the face mask and yanked him forward with it. Missed call.
Second and 2. Marini straight ahead, and Micah Johnson drills him back, and they're going to be short. It's going to be a third and at least a yard. Got a good spot, maybe inside of a yard.
This is what happens when you get a nominee for outstanding defensive player and you ask him to cancel a gap. He takes the B, he takes the A, he takes on a block, he sheds that block by the Lions offensive lineman nominee and Joel Figueroa, throws him aside and steps into the hole on Rainey.
So you're saying he's pretty good?
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's a keeper.
Personal best 13 sacks among the league leaders. And he might be important on this play as it's third and just under a yard with Fajardo ahead. And Alex Singleton came over the top, but Fajardo should have the first down. He's had to get across the 35, so fresh set of downs for the BC Lions. You mentioned Jennings and where he might be next year. That talk's picking up for quarterbacks, for coaches.
Yeah.
Sorry to see Mark Trestman released today by the Argos, so there's a vacant job. There will be one here in BC. We know that for sure. Pass to Johnson got there. Ciante Evans stepped up, thought he had a pick.
You know, defensively, you're thinking there, if you're Ciante Evans, boy, you had a chance at one, and you just missed it by, a half step. But I always look back at these catches and think, for Shaq Johnson, that's a very difficult catch. I mean, he completely loses the ball when the defender flashes in front of him, and yet maintains concentration.
And that reaction from Evans tells you everything.
When you're up 25-0 as a DB, you're taking some chances too. You're trying to break downhill on the ball a couple times and see if you can't get you one.
So a chain link, maybe 2. And the big team and Fajardo come back in. Any chance the Lions will be a little more ambitious than just a quarterback sneak? Love that play from Dominic Davis to Greg Ellingson last week. 3rd and 1 and a 55-yard touchdown pass.
For the Lions, it's not a bad time to try something like that too, because you put it on film and now Hamilton next week has to prepare for it.
Boys hunkered down and Fajardo's got it. Again, the biggest crowd of the year on hand. The Lions at 7-1 had a chance to post the best home record at 8-1. Doesn't look like that will happen, but 7-2 will tie for the best record. Barring something big from Jennings and company, Rainey over the middle, and he gets nailed. Singleton
On first down, Jennings
putting a bruise or 2 on Chris Rainey.
Chris Rainey getting some more reps on offense in this second half. A couple of carries. They want to take a few of the reps away from Tyrell Sutton. Don't get him too banged up for next week. Although you don't want to get number 2, who's been kind of on and off the roster the last few weeks. Don't get him injured either.
2nd and 6. Jennings running out of time. And in the grasp, though. And I think Micah Johnson was the inside defender there that will get credit for the sack. And that is number 14, so he's one off the league lead.
Starts out in basically 2 gaps over and then cuts all the way across, keeps his feet moving. Looked like he was trying to sniff out a zone or a screenplay there briefly, and then got back and got there first.
8th sack in 6 games, 10th sack in the second half of the season for Micah Johnson. Ty Long and Terry Williams on the return. 53-yard punt, and Williams brought down around the 20. Micah Johnson flexing, and the Stamps are 2.
Wally, my good friend, I would like to extend my sincere congratulations on your unparalleled success and numerous achievements, both on and off the field. I will be forever indebted that a long, long time ago, you hired me to be part of your staff and learning so much about the art of managing and coaching winning football. I thank you for all that you've done for me and for the Canadian Football League. Your legacy will last forever. I don't know about your future plans, but I only wish that you're happy, healthy, and doing a lot of fishing. Congrats, pal.
What a combination those two were.
Yeah, I mean,
he's always surrounded himself with great people, none better than John Hufnagel.
Well, and Dave Dickinson, the head coach for Calgary, has benefited from both, and both John Hufnagel and Wally Buono has both been mentors for him. And look at his win-loss record.
Three here, Jackson spun off contact to the 30. He is going to be close, but I think it's going to be 3rd down. And a decision for Dave Dickinson, who walks down to the 1st down marker.
Kick this away, I think.
Not going to take any chances.
You know, he talked about a team because of their injuries this year yesterday when we had a conversation with a man last week that you can't overcome when your talent is hit with injury. You've got to make those sound decisions. One of the things he wanted to clean up was turnovers down inside the red zone. And an issue with that. And these decisions to win the field position battle.
Beat yourself. Boy, they've covered tonight. Tunde Adeleke downfield to limit Rainey. Jonathan Jennings in the second half for the Lions. Another one of the cornerstones of this BC Lion organization retiring. Bill Rochelle, longtime athletic therapist, was honored at halftime with more on Bill. Here's Farhouse.
Actually, Chris, that's Billy and all of us down here on the sidelines. And, you know, while it's a big deal as far as the league is concerned, Wally's last game here, but for the Lions organization and all of the alumni that are here to celebrate, Bill Rochelle is as important. 41 years he's been doing this job. He's had 16 general managers, 15 head coaches, 189 assistant coaches, and thousands of players. And he says it's the players that he's going to miss the most. In this league, it's completely full of characters. He told me a story about a linebacker in the 80s who lost a tooth in a bar fight, but he knew that the insurance wasn't going to cover it, so he put the tooth in his glove, pulled it out during a game to tell Billy, look, I heard it here, so you've got to cover it and take care of it. He says there are thousands of stories like that, and the Lions medical staff gave him a trip to the Phoenix Open, the Waste Management Open, which is a fairly crazy event. I think he's going to fit right in, and the club also are going to send him and his family to Europe. So, again, a cornerstone of this organization. I've been on these sidelines for 21 years, guys. It's not going to be the same without Billy down here.
No, he's the best. Wally Buono said he's been the glue of this organization, and I don't think that's overstating it.
No, it isn't. I mean, first-class individual, first of all, and as Farhan mentioned, has duct tape players together for a lot of years.
There's Ricky Collins getting the edge, wrestled down by Emmanuel Davis. Pretty good flow in his day, too.
Oh, yeah. And you saw some of the stars he's worked with. Doug Flutie was in there. Mark Gastineau was in there. And some pitchers, Quick Parker. And, yeah, but the stories, I mean, guys like Billy Rochelle could write a book that would be a #1 seller because the stories would be outstanding. But
all his stories are classified.
Yeah, well, that's true too. But the other thing is that they are so important. I mean, when you are hurt as a player, you go straight to that guy, and he's the guy who makes you believe again, both physically and mentally, that you can get back.
Jonathan Jennings swarmed. Singleton finished it off. Thurman there. The linebackers were blitzing and get home.
Boy, did they ever. They closed quickly there. Just came off the edge and was home quick. I mean, Jameer Thurman didn't play last week for Calgary. He came out, and Billy Rochelle, after that tackle, went, well, come on now, get him coached up, Billy.
Thurman over 100 defensive plays on the year. Second and long, more pressure. Jennings throws back across. Can Reedy get loose? No. Thurman with another tackle. Otherwise, that might have been a big gainer, but he shows you his range on a couple of plays for Calgary on defense, and Chris Rainey isn't getting up yet.
You're right, Chris. I mean, Chris Rainey had the edge. If he gets the edge, he's still running right now. I mean, this is Thurman, and watch how quickly he closes to get over there. Shaq Johnson was trying to make a block, and he beat the block. So you lose him for a second. Now he's in pursuit, and Rainey can fly now. Caught him from behind, and look at Shaq Johnson, 88, coming in there, and then just got a piece of Emmanuel Davis, but he didn't get to Thurman. Thurman got to Rainey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Always?
All day. All day.
Rainey's still getting attention, so we will step aside here late in the third quarter. Mics are hot weekly on CFL Wired.
That's how you lock somebody down right there. Who are you talking to? Get back in the order. Get back up.
My dad said y'all had a dream last night you're going to score 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, the DB had it, and it went straight through his hands, and it landed right in my hands.
Catch it Tuesday, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on TSN 1. Long the punt. High punt that Williams fields, and there'll be a 15-yard no yards as he gets dragged down around the 34. Well, that thing hung up forever.
You know, David Sanchez mentioned on the panel at halftime that at some point here, I think Dave Dickinson has the same decision as Wally for different reasons.
Yep.
I mean, they're ahead 25-0, and you burn the third quarter, you get into the fourth with that kind of lead.
BC, this is 15-yard penalty. First down, BC 93.
Dave Dickinson, you know, I'm sure is wondering at what point, or thinking about at what point he should get Bo Levi Mitchell out of the game.
Bo over 5,000 yards on the season. Came into the game 4th in passing yardage this year.
Yeah, and leads the league in touchdown passes. I mean, you take a look at, there's some good candidates coming out of the West for MOP, but there'll be a front runner, I would think.
35 touchdown passes on the year. We should have mentioned earlier the touchdown connection in the first half, the 150th of his career. Got at least one more series in him. Looking downfield, and that one incomplete. Closest man to that was Gary Peters, and there's Bakari Grant not on the same page, and just here for a few weeks now. That was one where they weren't together.
Well, that's a good group, isn't it? Jameer Thurman on special teams. I mean, he's got 17 special teams tackles coming in, and started at linebacker all year. I mean, I don't think the cover guys ever get enough love when it comes to the votes for these award nominees, but you got to think that both Micah Johnson, that's going to be a tough one to come out of the West in for sure, with Adam Big Hill and Winnipeg. And
yeah, there's some discussion now. Grant's ahead of the snap offside, so a tough series for number 20. Just getting comfortable.
But I think
offside.
I think it's one
Calgary, number 20. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
People in Calgary will tell you that's
another one.
That could be the rookie of the year.
But you know, I think it's one of Bo's best years. I do. I mean, he's over 5,000 yards passing, and I know they've just come off that 3-game losing streak. But he lost his entire starting receiving corps, and has still found a way to control their own destiny, get enough wins to get to this game tonight where they could control their destiny and take first in the division.
Second and long, has some time, wants Grant, and TJ Lee has another knockdown. The league leader in that department breaks it up.
I want to say that's number 15 on the season for him, because he's got 3 tonight and he had 12 coming in. This time it's Bakari Grant trying to run the double move, just that out and up route. And TJ Lee, with that kind of confidence in the year he's had, he doesn't even try to reach out to hold off Bakari Grant. He just plays the football.
Maver's going to boot this out for 2. The Lions on the board after an errant long snap.
That was still rising when it got to him.
Pierre-Luc Caron sending that high, and Maver doing the right thing in that predicament.
Absolutely. He had a couple Lions tracking him down right now. Like you see, there's Otha Foster. He misses this. They cover it for a touchdown. Hold a combo there too.
So they made one mistake tonight. Mitchell and Dickinson going over maybe that first play where
I think it was.
Grant and him weren't on the same page.
Trying to just make the corrections along the way here.
And for Caron, the unfortunate job that you're only noticed when it goes wrong like that.
And it's the only time all year long we've noticed him for that reason. He's been
so
solid.
What you're saying, he's made one mistake in 18 weeks.
Yes, he's been solid all year.
Well, Rainey's back, and he'll return this. It's the best of the returns, and still just beyond the 35. These two teams came in with the same record within the division at 4-5.
Still working with Makari Grant down there. The Calgary bench.
Work in progress when you show up for the final month of the year. Jennings throws and behind the intended target, the former Stampeder, Anthony Parker. That's the first incompletion for Jonathan Jennings on the night. Wally Buono night here, but not a whole lot to celebrate for the home side. Dave Dickinson and the Stamps taking care of business. 15 minutes away from first in the West. Well, the stats tell the whole story tonight, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It's been the Calgary Stampeders with the edge. They had a lot on the line tonight trying to wrap up first place, and they're well on their way.
Wally Buono night, and we want to extend our appreciation. I started on the sidelines with the Montreal radio crew in 1981. He was still on the field. He was one of the only players that wouldn't talk during the game. Now he is more than willing to share his advice, his editorial comments. We get a kick out of working with him on a regular basis.
Without question. And I want to personally thank him, and also thank him on behalf of all of us at TSN for working with us to understand the game better, understand his mindset going into games. And I've been lectured, and we've been lectured on a lot of different topics.
You've been in for the film sessions in the office, which
absolutely.
many have been.
Absolutely, but listen, I respect every one of those conversations and all that he's accomplished in this league, for sure.
Pass from Jennings into the flat to Beer Posey, a catch and a first down.
And it's good to see, even though this has been all Calgary tonight, that he won't be shut out in this game.
You know, it's funny, Wally's known for his Wallyisms. I went and asked Mike Benson, the long snapper, Ty Long today, because Wally was a punter, did he, have any influence on what you did? And Long said this was classic even last week. He said, I was having trouble with the wind in Saskatchewan. Wally came over and said, the wind is imaginary. And if that's not a Wallyism, I'm not sure what is. But that's vintage Wally Buono.
And it started out with, no. The wind is imaginary.
Which was his way of saying, don't let that get in your head.
Exactly.
There's always the ulterior motive, but it's.
Well, again, I have appreciated and respected every one of our meetings and discussions about this game.
Sometimes we'd agree to disagree.
Exactly. Sometimes walk out scratching your head and going, I don't know what just happened there.
2nd and 9. Jennings deep. Was Posey on the money. What a terrific pass from Jonathan Jennings. Right into the bucket for DeBeer Posey.
Well, DeBeer Posey goes one-on-one with Trey Roberson and gets an outside edge and just a step. But the timing and the accuracy on the deep ball from Jonathan Jennings there, bang on throw.
Posey in the last home game with the 3-touchdown third quarter against Edmonton that propelled this team into the postseason.
Just under 8 minutes, 3 scores for 85. I think Jennings was looking for him again there around the big guys.
At the 20. First down, has time. Underneath it goes, and that's Wayne Moore with his first offensive touch of the year out of McMaster. He's been great on special teams, 11 special team tackles, but gets to touch the ball on offense in a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and we haven't seen much Tyrell Sutton in this second half at all. I'm sure Wally Buono's trying to rest him up. Didn't see him get hurt. Some Chris Rainey in the backfield, and now Wayne Moore.
So 2nd and 4. Let's give it to Moore again, running hard. Hit from Mack. The Etobicoke, Ontario product has a BC first down. Dropped around the 7.
Wally Buono has been the king of a league that says no lead is safe. And the Lions can put a major on the board here.
And you had a theory in a game like this where sometimes the backups are the ones with more to prove in a game where there's nothing on the line for the team.
Yeah, well, and you mentioned that agree to disagree moment. I had that with Coach Buono on Lule or Jonathan Jennings. Jennings has something to prove in his career in a bigger picture.
And an opportunity for Moore trying to take advantage. Here comes Heath. Wide side. That's me. Posey. Touchdown. Fourth touchdown. All in the last 2 home games for DeVere Posey.
Play action fake. Jennings right into your living room. Posey got the cone.
He got the cone. The foot was on the white, so let's see if he breaks the plane first. This might be,
I don't know about that.
First and 1. First and goal at the 1.
Being reviewed right now as we speak. They're seeing it's in Toronto the same angle that you are at home. But it did look like that foot touched down on the white stripe before Posey got to the cone.
That would have been the first Lion touchdown on Wally Buono night, but
the ball carrier is down at the 1-yard line. This is not a touchdown.
Well, Posey's got it.
Time to go back to work.
Now this might be big team anyway. I'm not sure if Posey's on that. Get the big guys out there and try and drive this in along the ground.
So the big team comes on and will try and finish the job here. But the drive set up with the long pass to Posey.
Well, with the importance for Calgary, you know, you started to wonder going into this fourth quarter whether or not we'd see Bo Levi Mitchell in the fourth. I might leave him in if they score here.
Fajardo straight ahead. Now they're in. Cody Fajardo has his 5th touchdown of the year.
Dave Dickinson, I'm sure, does not want to take any chances. He's been around long enough, like Coach Buono, to know that leads can change very, very quickly in the Canadian Football League because there's so many possessions in 3-down football. And good drive by Jonathan Jennings. Nice touchdown throw, or excuse me, deep throw to DeVere Posey, and then touchdown and finished off by Cody Fajardo.
8 plays, 72 yards, 3 minutes, 43 seconds, and a successful convert from long, and this will be a 2-score game. Lions trail by 16. With over 11 minutes left, a little life on the Lions bench on Wally Buono night as Cody Fajardo caps the drive. Tuesday on CTV, meet the oldest rookie in the LAPD. Nathan Fillion stars in the new must-see police drama, The Rookie, streaming Tuesday at 10, 8 Mountain on CTV. Last home game here at BC Place in 2018. And the decision desk that was getting an itchy trigger finger as
we're holding off. Let's hold off.
Yep, just
Saskatchewan's back tuned in again all of a sudden.
Back on hold. Terry Williams. And a big hit there on the team. Dijon Davis got down there in a hurry. One of their leaders, in fact, came in with 21 special team tackles among the leaders in the Canadian Football League. Here's Farhan Lalji.
Guys, the CFL player poll came out a couple of days ago, and the man leading in accuracy for passers was one, Bo Levi Mitchell. Now, when the article around the poll came out, that one category was omitted. I noticed and asked Bo if he'd noticed, and sure enough, he did, because he really believes that not enough attention is paid to that. He still believes he's had an exceptional season, despite what everybody is talking about, that being the last 3 weeks when the club has managed to lose some games. He says, look, I still lead the league in touchdown passes and TD to interception ratio. Our offense, despite all these injuries, is still second in the league in scoring and in yardage. He believes too much is made out of yards, but he says, look, as far as the MOP is concerned, if I need 5,200 yards to get that, which is what I had in 2016, he says, I think I can get that done tonight. And certainly at halftime, he was well on his way. Not as many yards in that third quarter, but a guy that hasn't lost confidence and has believed for the last few years that this offense has been very close to breaking out, despite all the changes, and we are seeing that now as they go into the playoffs.
Well, true to his word, he's over 5,100 yards now with big night, 27 short of 300. And he'll swing this out, long lay, unable to make the shoot top catch.
Well, that throw a little bit low, but I would agree with Faran, and I think Bo Levi Mitchell over the last 5 years has been the most accurate passer from the pocket in the Canadian Football League. You know, and I would put with him Ricky Ray when he is on his game, before he was injured at the beginning of this season. But his accuracy from the pocket, unbelievable.
Second and 10. Here comes heat from Davon Coleman. That ball thrown away. So the Lions defense gets a stop, and they'll get the ball back here with 9.5 to go.
Davon Coleman, the defensive player nominee for BC, he wants you to take a look at him and maybe get a vote or two. Spin move, Calgary Williams. Bo Levi Mitchell throw it away.
A lot of work to be done. But just a reminder, this BC Lions team scored 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes to roar back against Hamilton. At home. That ball bouncing out of bounds. No return for Rainey. Out around the 27-yard line. So the Lions with a glimmer of hope here and the football when we come back.
Hey, Wally, it's your good friend here, Cameron Wake from sunny South Florida. Obviously, I want to say congratulations on a tremendous career, finishing out the winningest coach in CFL history. Obviously, I want to thank you for, giving me the opportunity to come up there and play in Vancouver. 2 years I played up there, learned so much, had a tremendous time. Still think about it every day, while I'm still playing. Again, for all the fans, BC Lion fans, even some of the fans down here in Miami, definitely thank you for everything that you've done, not only in the CFL, but helping out guys down here as well. So again, congratulations on your career, and good luck in your next steps.
Great words from one of the highest profile players to ever have played under Wally Buono. Remember when he saw then Derek Wake in training camp and said, yeah, we're not going to have him for long. This guy's special, and he was. You think about
best defensive player, arguably, that he coached.
There's some good ones. Brent Johnson's in the building.
Alonzo Johnson in Calgary.
Yep. Will Johnson's another. There's a lot of terrific players. I was thinking on offense, Doug Flutie and Jeff Garcia, Travis Lulay, and maybe the biggest name that didn't go on in football, The Rock.
Yeah, no question.
Wally could say he cut The Rock.
He cut The Rock.
Johnson.
And I asked him yesterday, I said, which player got away? Which one did you have? And then you lost and became just a great player and had a great career. And he said it was Anwar Stewart, and he knew immediately what the answer to that question was.
Oh, Terry Williams had trouble with that, but able to secure it. That was an adventure. But Williams able to hang on. Calgary trying to avoid the mistake that would open the door a little bit more for the BC Lions. One of of the trademarks of the Wally Buono teams, the great quarterbacks, of course, Doug Flutie, the biggest name. Jeff Garcia won a Grey Cup and Grey Cup MVP with Wally Buono. Marcus Crandall was a guy that didn't quite fit that mold, but became a champion, like Dave Dickinson, now in the Hall of Fame. And Travis Lulay, others like Henry Burris, Casey Printers, Mike Riley.
Casey Printers MOP year, and Riley has become a champion, and that's the common thread through all those quarterbacks. All champions.
Just starting at the 21, he'll hand it off to Williams off the right side. There's a big hole. Kerry Williams runs for another first down. Oh, we talked about the quarterbacks, and although Wally was a defensive player, he made an impact on Travis Lulay.
Playing quarterback, I've heard this, Travis, it's not that hard, just throw it to the open guy. Like, I'm trying to find out how to find the open guy, right? But there's some lessons to be learned, right? And in a lot of those things, you know, just in that is not overdoing it, not overthinking it. Yeah. He's obviously not an offensive X's and O's guy, so some of what he says to me applies directly, and some of it maybe doesn't.
He always found the next quarterback, didn't he?
Well, and I talked to Dan Durazio, who's the offensive line coach, been with him and through his Calgary days, basically every step of the way in his CFL career. And I asked him what made him the winningest coach. Why is he the winningest coach? And you know, he said it was this guy is always prepared. He's well thought out, and he has the reasons why for everything.
Surrounded himself with good people. Second and long. Mitchell throws the slant. Durant the catch. It's going to be short of the first down, and Calgary's going to have to punt it away.
But it's funny though when you hear Travis talk about it, and just the way Wally's approach has always been, which is to, you know, try and basically tell you, don't overthink it. Just, you know, find the open guy. Your quarterback. Telling Ty Long, there is no wind.
Rainey comes back to return here. There might be a different attitude on that sideline right now. They might sense opportunity here. There's 6 minutes to go.
Plenty of time.
Gets it away, short kick. Rainey on that. 35-40. Just short of the 40. Final game of the regular season. We want to send out our thanks and a shout out to Steve Daniel, who is the stats guru of this league and has taken that position to a different level for all of us who cover the Canadian Football League. Our thanks to Steve, our thanks to Johnny Russin, John Proberg, Dave Moyer, and all the guys that handle the stats for us. You heard that collision between Wayne Moore and Jameer Thurman. John Proberg, Dave Moyer, and all the guys that handle the stats for us. 6th tackle of the game for Thurman. Here's Moore out of the backfield. This time he gets tattooed by Alex Singleton. He's going to be a yard or two short of the first down, but the Lions might think about this. Down by 16.
Sure, why not? You know, I mean, first of all, Wayne Moore, you know, welcome to playing time in the league, and a couple of premier linebackers in the Canadian Football League in Alex Singleton and Jameer Thurman in back-to-back plays. I mean, tattooed twice in a row, the two linebackers closing in quickly.
So it's 3rd and a couple. They've got to get to the 49-yard line. By the way, Jonathan Jennings in the second half, 13 of 16 for 119 yards. Five receivers set. And a sideline pass caught. And they get a fresh set of downs on that catch by Brian Burnham.
Yeah, I think you're playing 3 down now until you either climb into it or go down swing, and that's exactly what this 3rd down is. Timing route on the outside. Roberson just giving up a little bit of space. They were playing a little zone, so he dropped off there.
So Jennings following up a encouraging performance in relief last week in Saskatchewan. And that one out of the reach of Posey, incomplete. He was 5 for 8, 61 yards in a game where the Lions had nothing going offensively, and he seemed to give them a little bit of a late boost and probably a confidence boost for him.
Well, he is their deep threat. I mean, Burnham can get in behind coverage as well.
2nd and 10. Underneath it goes, catch made by Corey Watson, and he gets helicoptered a couple of yards short. It's going to be 3rd and 2 once again. Maybe a little less than that if they give him forward progress. And they do give him a good spot, so it's going to be 3rd and a yard as we hit the final 3-minute warning of the regular season. Time now for the Shaw connection of the game. Shaw, super fan and proud sponsor of the CFL.
How about the Bo to Chris Matthews first half connection? What a catch by Chris Matthews. A couple of those in the playoffs, and Calgary will get back to the Grey Cup championship game.
So just under 3 minutes to go, 3rd and 1. 2 backs in behind Fajardo, and now he'll follow off the right side, and he will get the first down. It was tough sledding, but ball came loose at the end, and they're going to say Calgary football. So he had the first down. A late whistle, and this will get reviewed. He won't have to challenge this. All turnovers are reviewed. Let's find out when that ball came out.
You know, and it's not necessarily the whistle. As you mentioned before, Chris, it's at times they'll stop forward progress. Basically the play is over. Fajardo, though, turns his back right here to try and keep pushing, and then the ball comes out on his way down. Now the question is,
now the recovery's clear, but it just seemed like forward progress has been stopped, and that might be the Lions' hope in all of this.
Well, he's still driving there. Now, at what point is the play dead?
The previous play is under automatic review.
So clearly an automatic recovery by the Stampeders.
The other thing you couldn't see was Fajardo down by contact. I think the ball was out before he got to the ground. But you lose him in the pile.
And Fajardo is trying to sell that his progress was impeded. We'll take another look, and spun around. And I mean, right there, he is stopped. Second effort gets first down yardage.
Gets it now. Still has control.
2 hands on the ball as he's.
Now it was ruled a fumble and turnover.
So will that be enough to?
Yeah, so they have to find. You have to find clear.
After review, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Calgary.
Yeah, you have to be able to find a.
Well, 3rd takeaway on the night for Calgary, +3 in that department. So the celebration on after the fumble recovery. Man, that's going to pretty well lock this one down. And it looks like Bo's going to go the distance. And a pitch to the near side. Good Calgary running game tonight. Terry Williams with another burst.
So Calgary fans that were concerned about that 3-game losing streak and what the Calgary Stampeders had become, well, they basically have eliminated the turnover problem they were having, because when they have a turnover problem, like every team, they have an uphill battle and are not successful. 0-5 when they lost that battle. Won it again tonight. Bo Levi Mitchell is back. The running game and stopping the run back for this team on offense and defense.
Short yardage crew in. Arbuckle. 2nd and 1. And on second effort gets the first down. So it's going to be the Lions and the Ticats next week. My only prediction, Suits, is there will not be any dancing on the Ticat logo. That didn't go well.
No, logo gate didn't go well for the BC Lions. That was the second game, and the 40-10 loss. Hamilton won that one from start to finish. Of course, BC beat Hamilton in overtime. That was the big Brian Burnham catch I mentioned off the top of the show in the end zone.
June Jones took some heat about the way he handled the late stages of that game, but they certainly rebounded in the rematch, dominating Wally Buono's crew 40-10. Good time the Lions have been a crossover team. No Western crossover team has emerged out of the East to head to the Grey Cup.
Right now, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are booking their hotel in Saskatchewan, booking their flights to Saskatchewan.
3rd inches, and Arbuckle makes sure the second time. The decision desk is making it official here with 2 minutes to go. And which one of the games is it going to be? Because the last one was all Blue Bombers after Saskatchewan had won the first 2.
Well, it's just one of those years, especially in the West Division, where, boy, on any given Sunday, any one of these teams can advance. I mean, they all have tremendous talent, both sides of the ball, all 3 sides of the ball.
Well, one thing about this last month that Calgary struggles is it's made a lot of teams believe that it could be their year.
Well, exactly. Dave Dickinson said he wanted to clean things up. He's first of all get that chemistry with the receivers. We've seen a little of that with Chris Matthews and Bo Levi Mitchell. He looked bang on tonight. The run game going, which they did tonight in a big way. I mean, Don Jackson 11 for 91. Williams 43 yards in relief. Well over 100 yards, 144 yards.
Terrific ground production, and they're staying on the ground here. And Anthony Thompson, the safety, steps up and takes down Williams.
And if I'm Hamilton Tiger Cats right now, I'm thinking that way too. I mean, I'm looking at this BC defense and thinking, this defense got good edge pressure in Sean Lemon and Odell Willis. Their back end has played very well, but if there's an issue with this BC defense, it's stopping the run, and they continue to have issues stopping the run. Go back to that game for them last week against Saskatchewan. Everyone in the park knew they were going to run Saskatchewan, and BC couldn't get it stopped.
So in the final minute of the 2018 regular season, Averill looked for the corner and misses it. It goes through for a point. What now it is a 3-score game at 26-9.
I asked Wally Buono yesterday in the press conference. I said, Coach, what are you going to miss most about the game, and what do you think that you won't miss at all about the game? And he said, I won't miss, for sure I can tell you, walking off after a loss. And there's been times when, a fan has come up and said they were real frustrated with the loss, and he says, and he wanted to say to the fans, as much as he appreciates them throughout the years and what a great crowd it was here tonight in Vancouver, he said, They have no idea how difficult it is for a coach and a family and players to deal with the losing. I said, well what are you going to miss most? He said, I'll tell you that in May. Because it'll be May when I want to get back involved and back in it. And I've walked away and it's over. He said, I'm right focused in this playoff run right now, but I'll talk to you in May about that.
282 regular season wins, and he had to take that walk that you talked about 164 times prior to tonight. This will be the 165th loss. So he has kidded that not only does he lead all time in wins, but losses too, as the family looks on from one of the boxes here at BC Place. Well, it was fitting that it would be against Calgary tonight, and we asked Dave Dickinson about meeting Wally on this final night.
He had a lot to do with my success. He was a big part of that, bringing me here, first off. And I've kind of hitched my wagon to him a huff, and I feel like that was a damn good wagon to hitch to. But as far as stories, I mean, there'll be a lot of that out there. This is still a serious football game. This has got a lot of implications, and I know for a fact it's great to honor him, but we're both here to win, and we're going to try to do that for our teams.
And he did that tonight. But clearly Dave Dickinson grateful for the opportunity and the experience that he gained under Wally Buono and John Hufnagel. It doesn't get much better than that.
No question.
A 1-2 learning punch. So 3 first place finishes in a row for Dave Dickinson at the controls of the 13-5 Calgary Stampeders.
Last year, 13-4-1, another first place finish, and we all know how the season ended. They're going to be a game away from getting another shot at it. We'll see who comes out of the West and plays in Calgary in the West Final, Winnipeg or Saskatchewan.
Well, a little trickery to wrap things up here. Gary Peters has a left-handed throw, and they get a first down to Cody Fajardo. Well,
a lot going
it's on
there.
The film for the Ticats. I'm not sure we'll see that again, but let's have another look.
Yeah. No, I'm not. I don't think Hamilton needs to spend any time working on this one.
But hey, it worked. Long to Lacombo, to Peters, to Fajardo, and the quarterback has a first down catch.
For a second there, I was wondering if they were making it up as they were going along. I'm the bottle cap. I'll just go over here. You just come by me. I'll flip it over to you. Keep your foot in bounds at the curb. You know,
even the coach has a little smile on his face, like I'm not sure where that came from. Ricky Collins dropped around the 52. Time for one more play.
Well, probably best for BC just to kneel on this one, and let's get to the playoffs.
Last play of game 81. Wayne Moore will handle it. That's going to do it. 5 more games left. But the Calgary Stampeders have won the West and spoiled the party on Wally Buono night here at BC Place. Time now for the Nissan Titan Player of the Game, brought to you by the Nissan Titan, official vehicle of the Canadian Football League.
Well, he was sharp. He was 20 of 32. Was on pace at one point in the game after the first half, as a matter of fact, for 500 yards passing. The BC defense made some adjustments in the second, and Bo Levi Mitchell with the big lead didn't have to push the ball like he did in the first half. Ends up with 278 yards, 1 touchdown, but he looked sharp tonight and is getting some chemistry with that young receiving core.
Another bye for the Calgary Stampeders. 13-5 season. They'll wait for the winner of Winnipeg and Saskatchewan from Mosaic next week. BC already knew they'd be heading east to play the Hamilton Tiger Cats after finishing 9-9 in the West. Final score here tonight, Stampeders 26, the Lions 9. That's it for the 2018 regular season. We'll see you in the playoffs. Right now, here comes SportsCenter.